Oh, hello, and welcome to Dente Rigamortis. I'm Review Cultist.
I'm Mikey, the E stands for evil.
And I'm the gamer in yellow.
And we're here to discuss those internet stories, most creepy and most pasta, and be critically silly doing it. And tonight we have Borrasca Part 3. So, we're still at this. Thank God we're still at this. I don't know what you guys, I'm liking this, just doing this like a one part, an episode kind of thing. It's easier, more manageable. It's more easier to consume these stories and like actually take notes and such.
That's why we've been doing that on our Patreon in specific episodes. Al Dente Reloaded and Al Dente Revelations. At the $2 and $5 tier.
Awesome.
I know, right?
If you the audience,
Just immediately go into the outro. Don't even do the show.
If you, the audience, would like us to continue doing this for like the multi-parter episodes, like stories, like say Borrasca stuff or the Reddit NoSleep stuff that is generally like multi-parters, let us know in the comments in the comment section below. And so yeah, we're doing Borrasca Part 3. It's by the Dalek Emperor or c.k.walker. You can find it out on Reddit NoSleep like the other ones, and we'll just kind of dive into the rundown as we like to do. This one takes place immediately after the suicide, and deals with the aftermath of the suicide. A couple of days, one or two days have passed, and Kimber is secluded herself, not answering calls or anything like that. Kyle is freaking out because his girlfriend is not talking to him, and he doesn't know how to comfort her. And Sammy is being Sammy and conspiracy nut.
Pretty much.
Like trying to figure out what's going on. But then Kimber comes to school the one day, and they...
It's the last day of school.
Yeah, it's the second last day.
Alright.
I think.
Regardless.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter. It's superfluous. And they know that there was a suicide note. Like, they were told by the dad, or like they heard the dad, both Kimber and him, that from the dad that she left a suicide note. But now the suicide note is not a thing, according to the police, according to the dad. But Kimber knows because his dad's been, she's heard her dad reading it in his den all hours of the night.
And he's been locked in there.
Yeah, and like apparently he's a lot more colder toward Kimber because like she thinks that he blames her about the whole thing, and maybe there's something in the suicide note about that. So they start a plan they figure out a plan to how to get the suicide note during the funeral, and they start that, and then halfway through
they get there to the funeral. And then they expect there to be a lot of people, so they can kind of Assassin's Creed out of there.
Yeah, but there's like half that not
there's
even
like 5 people there.
Yeah, like it says a couple of groups of 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So probably like a dozen at most.
Yeah.
Which is really, and it really tears up Kimber because
and like the coffin they got for
was
her
like
mother
a
is like
one.
it's such just a cardboard box.
Yeah, it's like what the fuck.
Yeah.
And apparently Kimber's family isn't like badly off, so like they should have been able to afford much better thing.
She's essentially just insulted by this.
Yeah, and so she just can't deal with it. So she, I guess, like took the keys from Kyle while he was she went to like run off. And their plan was for Kyle and Sam to distract the dad and explain that Kimber was
having a breakdown
in the bathroom. And she ran off, and then Kyle and Sam go to like confront the dad, and the dad's a lot more standoffish and like menacing about the whole thing and about like the suicide and stuff. And then Kyle goes like, "I'm gonna go check on Kimber's." Like, "No, not you. You go check her. Go check my daughter.
Go check her out.
Go check on my daughter." And talking to Sam, and like Kyle's like, "Yes, sir." Because
he reverts back to like a 10-year-old.
Yeah, because he's just like terrified of this guy. Because he's like, I guess both of the parents hated Kyle or something. Because it seemed really like not like Kyle was getting like
the mother didn't even
some hate on from the family.
This is Ginger.
God damn it.
Well, I mean, she's a Ginger.
So is Kimber.
Yeah, but If you mix no soul with no soul, you come out with no soul. That's still
anti-soul.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to have one.
Wow.
Because that's why the father probably isn't ginger.
Here at Dente Rigamortis, do not shame any gingers whatsoever.
No, but we will make South Park references.
Yes, I guess we can do. Yeah, well, one out of three will make South Park references.
Hey man, you've done it too.
The odd time. Because you goaded me into it.
There could be a secret that they're actually cousins.
Oh, fuck. Ew. Oh.
Okay.
I know. Oh, God. Why?
But that's what's in the suicide note?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, oh, God. Okay.
That's creepy in a different...
Recommendations aside.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Move on.
Yeah, move on. So, Sam goes to check the bathroom. She's not there. Tries texting her a couple of times. Then finally gets a message saying that she left with the car ahead of them, and like she just couldn't deal with it, so she's just doing it on her own. So she's changed the plan already.
Yeah.
The plan is already foobarred. And so, not knowing what to do, Sam just kind of sits in the bathroom for like 20 minutes, waiting to hear from her and stuff like that.
Playing Snake on his phone, I believe.
Yeah. Sees, I think, before that, those spots that like some of the deputies were leaving the funeral early.
Well, some of them went up to the father, and were like questioning him and like asking him like aggressive kind of questions.
Former Sheriff Cleary was talking to the dad in a weird kind of almost conspiratorial kind of way, and and they were kind of being very angry and terse to each other, like there's something up with that. And then the two deputies go away. So like Kimber is goes off, and he's texting. It's like they're leaving. They're coming for you. And Kimber's like, they're here. I found the suicide note. And then we don't hear from Kimber ever again.
Yeah, so before that too, when they kept failing to contact her, Kyle called someone else who picked up the phone and Phil.
No, that's
not after.
I think that's after the funeral.
Yeah, but after the funeral, but they're still trying to contact Kimber.
Yeah. They spend like a good almost a half hour trying to call Kimber, and then
after she says that they're here. I thought it was before that.
No, after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because at that point it's like shit's got real. Like we need to get there now.
Yeah.
And so then he calls Phil to get over here and give them a ride. Mm-hmm. And they get into Phil's car, go over to Kimber's place, and nobody's home. The door's unlocked, but nobody's there. And Sam's car is in the drive. So. But Kimber's missing. Mm-hmm. And Kimber continues to be missing for the rest of the story. And so they search around, then they eventually call Sam's dad, the sheriff's office, and spill the beans of all the stuff that's going on, like with the missing person, or like with Kimber being missing, and like their speculation of what's happening. And so he brings them in, and he calmly tries to logistify what's going on. And the kids and the guys and the dudes aren't having nothing about it. Like they're like, no, you're lying, and like, why didn't you search harder for Whitney? He's like, ooh,
yeah, that's a soft spot.
Just like no bueno. Mm-hmm. And Sam's dad isn't gonna have any of that. Yeah. So he's like
how then you want to go there because it's like it's the cops. What the fuck are they gonna do? It's my dad.
Yeah. It's like, do you trust the cops? I trust my dad.
Yeah.
And then and then so they leave. They don't even bother they're just so disheartened by the whole the cops aren't really doing anything. They pass the guy who's supposed to take their statement, leave the building and just go out to their car and just and they say they're gonna go straight home, but they just one of the deputies that left earlier shows up at their window. It's like, you boys go home now, you hear? It's like all creepy. It's like, I was like, okay. But then they don't go home. They search. They go to the Triple Tree, praying there's some clue there to find Kimber. And of course, there's nothing there. They
except Parker.
Yeah, Parker and friends.
Yes,
as they're returning from the Triple Tree. Mm-hmm. So Parker's still in this movie. He's still alive. He hasn't taken.
That's good.
But then after being like hours in the night, nothing. They return home. They say the next day they will search again. And he gets home to his dad being in the kitchen, and he starts talking to him.
He's just ignoring.
Yeah, the dad starts talking to Sam as Sam just ignores him and just goes and makes a sandwich, and he's trying to the dad's trying to like we're going to find her, and like going on all about it, and Sam's just like, listen, Dad, I don't want to deal with this crap. Like, just tell me the truth. Are actually going to search for like Kimber? Mm-hmm. And it's like, yes. And it's like, it's the one time I actually believe my dad. Like, he is actually trying. Mm-hmm. And then he just like walked off, like walked to his room and just
he's saying like, regardless, I'm going to look for her tomorrow.
Yeah,
that's the last I believe he says.
Yeah. And then basically they spend the next couple of days like searching, and they don't find her. Mm-hmm. And then the end of the story is like on the 11th day without Kimber. Like halfway through the night, he's woken up like screaming to the sound of that grinding sound they always dread, and they realize that Kimber was dead, like has been taken by Borrasca or something, and so that's the end of the story basically. Mm-hmm. For now, until Borrasca Part 4. Mm-hmm. So I guess we'll move on to Everyone Expects the Grandma Inquisition at this point. So, dude, her mom committed suicide. You how close Kimber was to her mom. She just needs some time, but she'll be okay. So, it's supposed to be, you know how close.
I was going to say, I was about to correct you.
You how close.
You how close.
Yeah, so that was just, like, it's missing a no. There's a lot of my grammar inquisitions, I have at least half a page of just missing words.
Yeah.
Or, like, slightly misspelled words. Case in point, the next one. Towards the end of the hour, the conversation faltered and became uneasy. Faulted is actually not the right word. It's actually supposed to be faltered. The conversation faltered and became uneasy. Because faulted actually isn't a word at all. Or it isn't a proper word for this sentence.
Well, yeah, okay.
Faltered means to like lose steam and like lose momentum.
Yeah. Faulted is like if you're watching gymnasts do things like, oh, you fucked up. You faulted.
No, or a program that has a fault in it, so basically it errors out with a 404.
That's faulty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's faulty because there's a fault in it.
Yeah.
But in the past tense, it faulted back then.
Yeah. I said I don't think faulted is actually a thing. Like legitimately, I don't think it's actually a thing. No. Like a past tense of fault. I think it's just
fault is fault.
Yeah, I think. I don't think it gets the past tense there. Yeah. But I could be wrong. But I'm pretty sure that that wasn't. Mm-hmm. And then the next one is Kimber. He said quietly, Kimber. He said quietly. Did you mom leave a note? Did you mom leave a letter? So it's did your mom leave a letter?
Yeah.
Possessive your.
It's dialogue.
I don't fucking care. That means that this kid is a fucking caveman. Because almost all of these are from Kyle.
He's also distraught.
I know, but it's seriously.
It's also the way the character talks.
Alright, anyway, continuing on.
Yeah.
Kyle gave me a shaky, subtle nod, and then he and Mr. Destaro went to sit down. So, in this case, it's supposed to be subtle, but, like, the L is on the other side of the T. Subtle.
Yeah, subtle.
Yeah. The next one I have is, when Phil dropped us off at the Destaro house, we found the front door unlocked and no home. So, there's no home? Like,
he's gone. Yeah, it's just the door frame and the door.
Yeah, so I think it's supposed to be like, and no one home. Like, that makes sense to me. Mm-hmm. And the next one is Sam. Sam, how will you... Okay, hey, let's do this. Alright. Sam, how will you know...
Damn it.
Sorry.
It's
okay, so okay. Sam, how you we know... No, how will you know? How do we know we can trust the cops?
No, so
it is. So it's supposed to be, Sam, how do you know? How do we know? I'm pretty sure it's how do we know, or I guess it could be how do you know? Yeah. And then he repeats it like, how do we know we can trust the cops? Like, yeah. But like, yeah, it's like, how we know? How do we know? Or yeah, just little things like that. Like it's like clearly just like the guy, the author like fumbled on their words like when they just want to get it out as much as like maybe as quick as possible, or they just just misspelled by accident. It's just like a quick read over would have fixed that.
Aside from the typos, it might be them trying to show that he's stumbling over his actual words.
You know what? It could be that too,
because there should be ellipses for that, right? It's not generally.
It is dialogue. It is in quotations, like as dialogue.
Oh no, I'm saying if you were trying to show someone like stumbling over their own words, they'd be like there's little. Yeah, like you would have to put ellipses to,
or like you can't describe that or describe like in the next like Kyle was fumbling over his words, trying to get out his messages. He was so distraught, kind of thing.
There's just a lot of it,
but there's nothing like there's never. It's just a faltering of words. Okay, and this one had two in like rapid succession, or like had two like just issues in rapid succession. It's basically it's practically the final like set of sentences. On was the 11th night of our kimberless existence. I was awoken out of a troubled sleep by the piercing, whirling, screeching sound of death at Borrasca. I cried myself back to sleep to the tortured sounds of Kyle own agony next door. Okay, I missed one, but
there's
actually three back to back. Each sentence had something wrong with it. Yeah. So there's no was in the first sentence. Like get rid of that. Like on the 11th night, not on was the 11th night. Because it sounds like they were either going for it was the 11th night or on the 11th night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then remove the first two in the second sentence. So it's like. I guess it wasn't. Was the second sentence? No, it wasn't. It was actually all one sentence. Okay. I was awoken out of a troubled sleep by the piercing. No, it was. Okay, sorry, it was. I cried myself back to sleep. Not I cried myself back to sleep. To the tortured sounds.
To
Kyle's own agony next door. Not Kyle own agony next door. So, yeah, just a few things. Also, goddamn it, just occurred. This is a quick thing into my actual thoughts for a second because it's part of that same that same paragraph thing. It just occurred to me while I was reading that perhaps the sound that goes off is a trigger for when somebody dies or goes missing in town. Like the reason also why that causes so much dread in the town is because it's almost like kind of like a signifier that like somebody's gone missing now.
Yeah.
And I just picked that up on the third part. Like, oh shit.
But it goes off way too often.
No,
based on the first story, it went off like 3 or 4 times.
I thought over the course of a year, not in a single day.
But it still went off a fair amount of times. If there's that many people going missing, there's something wrong.
Or there's a very large, like town-wide conspiracy that's trying to keep that under wraps.
Either way, we'll save that for actual thoughts.
Yes, we will save that for actual thoughts. And that is the end of my grammar acquisitions. Right. So, where's my coffee?
You didn't bring it down.
I didn't. I ran down. Yeah, it's fine. No,
pour you tea?
No, it's fine.
Sure?
It's fine.
It's right here.
Yes, it's fine. It's fine.
All right. I offered.
All right. Yeah. So, Mikey, these sense for evil. What do you got?
All right.
How many ands and buts did you find in front of paragraphs and
sentences? I was this close. I mean, very, very close to not having any front butts.
Oh, man.
Was there one at the very end or some shit?
Yeah, close to the end. But it's just so close. Anyway, we'll start with front ends, because that was the first thing I found.
Sure.
That hasn't already been talked about. So...
I mean, only because, like, I just leave them for you. The fact that I don't see them as much as you do.
I occasionally notice them, but I know that you'll get them.
Oh, I see. I have to pick up the slack.
You are the bearer of that cross, sir.
Yes, indeed.
We both stared at the phone, waiting for a response. And just as the sun blinded us as it reflected off of Phil's approaching silver sedan, we got one.
So remove the and and just go just?
Yeah.
Or potentially have that part of the next sentence combine them. Because, I mean, they're still talking about stuff and things. Anyway.
Well, would that make that a run-on sentence if it just kept going like that, or?
Kind of. Not really. There is a comma in the second part. Anyway.
That's fair.
Alright, the next one is a quote that made me laugh.
Okay, I'm glad you added that last part because I was like, this is a quote. I was like, really?
It's from the story. I'm going to read it now. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah.
It was the first time I'd ever seen Kyle, but not the last.
Yep.
I mean, 3 stories in and we're just seeing Kyle for the first time.
Yes. Exactly. I have a note on that as well. Because essentially, I've never seen him before. Has he always been very, very sneakily this whole time? Like, Kyle is always just in his peripherals the entire time throughout his life? Because he's always being very, very sneaky?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's never seen Kyle cry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cry.
Okay, so this is the word. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I actually completely missed that one.
Yeah.
Or I forgot to take note of that one.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, and I have another hilarious one here. I jumped as someone tapped on the window of the car and wiped the tears off my face.
Let me get that for you, buddy.
It's like the window's half down, so he taps on the window, but he still reaches in. You okay?
takes the tears like, yeah, your tears.
Oh, is that a South Park reference?
Maybe.
It sounds like a South Park
No, I don't think
reference.
so. I don't think
Oh,
so.
that's like Scott Tenorman or something. No, I think it is, yeah. Oh, it just happens to be a ginger as well. Oh, really?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay. You're going to have a tally running? Yes. That is hilarious.
Let me just take this for you, buddy.
Yeah.
Let me dry your eyes a little bit.
It's like a tissue. It's like, it'll be okay.
So it's caressing his cheek.
Yes, of course, yes. Very sensual.
Yep. Alright, and then I have another front end. We hiked miles and miles of the mountain that day, but we didn't find any sign of human life. And for the next few days, if the sun was out, so were we.
Yeah. I have to admit, like, just get rid of that and like, the next couple of days, like, it's fine. Like, yeah.
Pretty much every single sentence that starts with an and, you could just remove the and.
It's amazing how much that gets done, though. Like, not even just in, like creepypastas, but, like, writing in general. Like,
yeah.
You go to, like, it's just, like, it really is just, like, the literary version of uhs and ums.
Yeah, it's completely unnecessary. It doesn't do anything, though, you know?
Yeah.
We're going to change the world with this podcast.
I really sincerely doubt it.
Hey, man.
Unless our viewers, like, I sincerely doubt it.
They'll spread the word.
Yeah, spread our word like a
of
virus.
Evil front ends and front butts.
Yes.
Destroy all the front butts.
Also, look forward to our actual play Rigamortis, where we play a game that's about ands and front ends and butts. Or is it just about front butts?
It's mainly front butts.
Front butts.
Yeah.
Because, apparently Mikey found one.
In space.
Yes. Right, yeah. It's front butts in space.
Yep. That'll be a thing.
Alright, anyway.
Alright. And the next one I have is a use of a colon, which doesn't really work because he's not listing anything. And then we have...
I thought you were going to say because he isn't doing any bodily actions
no BMs.
Yeah.
Well, but the thing is that there's a front butt soon after, followed by front end.
Okay, yeah.
So it's sort of...
The butt is close enough to the colon that it works.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is good.
Cool. Anyways, continue.
Okay. Kyle was growing more and more desperate, crossing onto private property to look for logging equipment and mapping out the county's many mines to search the abandoned buildings. But the mountain was big and the needle buried deep in the haystack. And as the days slipped away, so did Kyle's sanity.
So did yours probably reading that.
Was that all one word?
It's all one word. Huge word, no spaces.
Yeah, no, was that all one sentence, or is that that was broken up? Yeah.
That was broken up. The front,
Like every but and
Yeah,
were
it really did not need to be there.
No, I'm saying those were the start of the new sentences.
Yes.
They also didn't need to be there.
Yeah. Like, I understand breaking it up so that it isn't a run-on sentence, but don't leave the joining words.
Yeah, it almost seems like they wrote the entire huge sentence like, this is really long. Doot, doot. There. Just 2 periods.
They just break that up.
Yeah.
Alright, and that's the end of my grammar inquisitions.
Cool. Gamer.
And the colon use was bad because it wasn't listing a list,
Yep.
essentially.
You know what your version of this should be? The grammar in yellow. Because in the yellow you're highlighting it when it's wrong.
Ooh.
Sing!
I might.
No, that's the grammar highlights.
Yeah.
But I would have to be the grammar highlighter at that point.
Yeah, that's why I was going with yellow, because it's like the grammar in yellow, the gamer in yellow.
This is highlighted.
Yeah. And it's still GIUI.
GIUY.
I meant GI. I fumbled my words, okay? It's how I'm going to talk.
I'm Guy, not Gui.
Not Gui.
Gui, yeah, Gui. But yeah, it's my turn. So, should I kind of want to go with grammar highlights.
No, you're like, we'll
figure it out later.
Yeah.
Fine.
What do you got?
Well, grammar-related discrepancies for one. Actually, only one of them because the other one got noted, and somehow I didn't notice the hundreds you brought up.
You just like, because it was all in dialogue, so you just like, boop, turn that off.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, no, like, I was reading, I was like, who watch you, Waga? Like, or like, who watch you, me? Like that's how it kind of sounded like every time that they did it. It's just like, do watch you me? No. Like,
yeah, I don't know how I missed all that. Either way, at the funeral, the quote is, I backed into the shadows at the back of the room while the pastor started the service. I texted Kyle 4 times asking for help, but he wouldn't dare touch his phone. He just stared straight ahead, flicking worried glances at Mrs. DeStaro every few seconds. Shouldn't it be at Mr. DeStaro?
yeah.
Because she's in a coffin.
Is it MRS?
Yes.
Oh wow, yeah.
It's at Mrs.
Unless he's just like just looking at the coffin, like giving like weird like worried glances at the coffin, just like
I thought he's worried about him though, because he's being aggressive and intimidating.
That's honestly
and keeping an eye on him. That's his job.
I definitely skipped like over that and thought it was Mr. DeStaro.
Yeah.
Okay. That's another secret hidden in here, is that he doesn't want Miss DeStaro to become a zombie.
Yeah,
so
he's worried.
Constantly looking at the
Okay.
coffin.
I'll accept that. That makes sense to me. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, okay.
Because the other one was about the I've never seen Kyle before.
Yeah, I can't believe I forgot that one. I didn't see that one.
Yep, never seen him before.
All right, so actual thoughts then.
Yes.
So this is in regards to Sam's dad. We're talking about the suicide note. Sam, I don't know what to tell. Yeah. Sam, I don't know what to tell you. And DeStaro didn't leave a suicide note, and this is the first time I've heard of it. Just like you didn't know what Borrasca or the Skinned Man were back in part 1. I'm keeping an eye on you, Mr. Walker.
You might actually not know, though.
Update. Still not convinced by the end of the story, but that he's not in on it. But at least it seems that he has some kind of remorse or guilt. Maybe he's putting on a really good poker face if that's the case.
Yeah.
And then my next one is, no, we need to get in. No, we need to get me in. Yeah, okay, this is Kimber talking about like the plan. No, we need to get me in. That's just reads weird. Okay, hang on. No, we need to get me in. Tomorrow is my mom's funeral, and half of Drisking will be there, including my dad, of course. I need to leave without him noticing and run home so I can go through the office. Okay, that's easy, I said. Is it? A lifetime of reading and watching Teen Gumshoe stories has provided me a stack of set odds. against kids not getting caught in this kind of planning and situation. Then again, as it does so many times it's used, it does build tension of will they, won't they get caught. So
here's the thing, though. I'm going to let you finish.
Yeah.
But...
Well, Beyonce should have won.
Yeah.
Wow.
I wasn't going there, but wouldn't it be smarter for Kyle or Sam to break in? Because at the funeral for her, but there's two focused people, the dad and the daughter.
Yeah.
Logically, yes, but I can see why Kimber wants to do it. It's because she wants closure. She wants to know what the hell's what's beyond that.
Okay, but if Sam stole it, she would still have the closure.
Logically, that makes sense, but these are teens where their hormones and whatnot are still going. Like, their chemicals are still going through, and so, like...
They're idiots.
They don't think... sometimes they don't think that way. Or, like, again, like, she's letting her emotions get the better of her. Like, she has to do it.
Yeah.
Also, narratively, she has to be the one that's get taken by Borrasca at the end of the story. But no, like...
Yeah. And just going that, like, when you're at a funeral, if you're...
Yeah,
if you're people, you are staying there. Eyes are on you. There's no way you can escape.
Yeah, it's like even if you like have to like go to the bathroom and have a breakdown, like somebody else other than like one person is going to check up.
They'll be knocking on the door, and be like, "You okay?"
Yeah,
yeah.
But yeah, like the idea of like or the whole like this whole kind of like plot plan. Like I've seen it all before, but like at the same time, it does build. Like I said, it builds tension. Like, for the reader, it's like, oh, shit, are they going to get caught? Are they going to get caught? So I can kind of, like, I'm kind of fine with, like, the planning, with, like, that kind of stuff. And then my update on this note was, okay, surprisingly, this went differently than I expected. Because they changed the plan a couple of times, and things went wrong in a way I didn't expect them. Like, I didn't expect them to just, like Kimber just gets taken, like, and is gone from the rest of the story. And it still has that, like, things going terribly wrong, just in a different way. Like, it's a different sort of wrong that ties to the deeper conspiracy of just what is going on in this town. So I can applaud the subversion of that trope of, like, planning and executing a stupid, like, bait and switch or distract and investigate gumshoe plan. But yeah, like, logically, it should have been either Sam or Kyle, but because of Kimber's emotions and like Kimber's like want for like or like desire for some kind of not conclusion closure, like some kind of closure for her mom's death and stuff, like that wants to read what's that suicide note so she has to be the first one to read it of the three of them. It had to be her. And then this is Sam regarding his dad. I thanked him, and he asked me to apologize to Kimber for him having to work through the service, and that he sends his love. Sure. Totally not covering things up while half... Okay, scratch that. Some of the town, like 12 people, attend the funeral. Because I was like originally like, sure, and covering up while half the town is at this funeral.
Yeah, because, him working makes everyone else work.
Squinty eyes on an audio podcast. It's just like it just at this point I was still in like not trusting anyone. Don't trust any of the cops, even the dad.
He's still a cop.
On that one line of thinking, with the sound being people going missing, what if the mother actually had that many friends, but the majority of them are missing?
Wow.
Or that many of them are in on it, so they didn't even attend because they knew it had happened.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, no, they would have to attend to cover it up.
Yeah, that's true.
He's saying that they were all taken.
Yeah.
My God.
So literally the 12 people in that town is literally half the town.
That's half the town right now.
Half the town's gone. Hey, honestly, at this rate, I'm expecting Mira to be the next person to go. So, like, Mira was one of the other people. Mira and her family, or her husband and stuff. Like, they're now missing. Like,
the husband will be fine. So far, it's only been women.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
It's weird.
Makes it even kind of creepier, like skeevier if something realistic, like real world is happening. But,
but the father disappeared this time too.
We actually got like the sheriff talked to him about something, possibly about leaving town or something.
Yeah.
So, or maybe about taking the daughter, like because maybe they were in on it too. Like I don't know.
He was theorizing that after the suicide, they were just emotionally kind of wrecked, so he decided to move, and Kimber doesn't get a choice in the matter because she's living with him.
Yeah.
So
that's the dad cover up, or the dad's like logical like mind and like the logical idea. But like I have a feeling that like they were like told to leave town, and I think maybe also
her father's actually a higher up in
and like
situation,
and maybe the reason why he's been so cold and standoffish and like angry is because he knew Kimber was going to be next.
Yeah.
On the list of being taken. Yeah, it's really interesting. Like I'm not sure. But moving on, my next one. Kyle sat down next to her and pulled her into a hug. Jesus, Kimber, what's wrong? I kicked his foot and shot him a look that said, "Really?" Kyle bit his lip. I mean, fuck. Thank you, Sam. Jeez.
You can also stop that a little bit earlier, and it completely changes it. I kicked him in the foot and shot him.
Bang! You asshole! But yeah, no, like, why you be so dense, Kyle? This was a sliver of black humor in an otherwise very sad, somber mood.
Yeah.
And I couldn't help but chuckle.
And then immediately go,
at the little awkward teens being awkward teens like moment. I really have been enjoying their like relationships and interactions, like with the three characters and like throughout the three parts, like them like basically growing up and like developing. It's been really interesting and entertaining to me. And this was just kind of one of those examples of like what like one of the there's all the sad and somber stuff, but I mean the story can still have like a small a small chuckle, even if like kind of gallows humor or like black like comedy. At the whole like, what's wrong? I don't know, Kyle. Maybe it's the fact that my mother's dead.
Yeah.
Just like, Jesus.
Like if she actually responded with that too, like, yeah,
that would have been a little too far. I think it was good for the way like Sam just kicked him. Was like, really? Yeah. And that's my actual thoughts till we go to final thoughts. So,
all right. Now let's start with a quote here that's, I certainly hadn't been okay when Whitney died, and Kimber was even closer to Mom than I was to my sister. I'm thinking to myself, wait, when did Whitney die?
Well,
like, yes, she's missing.
And he feels that she's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, I mean...
It's not confirmed.
Yeah,
it's not confirmed, so it's just like... It was just a bit of a shock to me that he's already...
Oh, he said that earlier. Yeah, he said that in part 2. Like, he's basically, like, realized, like, in that 7 years, that when he didn't run away, she's probably been, like, murdered.
Well, but...
That's more... It's a character's assumption, like, on that matter.
In my recommendations, Whitney's going to show up in the next part, or maybe part 5.
Well, for the sake of a happy ending, I hope you're right.
Yeah.
She'll be our strong female protagonist to
that's a little far.
To like beat the shit out of all the bad guys and escort all the other people that have been taken.
Yeah, sure.
They'll all be back in town unharmed.
Yeah,
and the day will be saved.
Sure.
She'll ride into the town on a horse, blasting all the bad guys with shotguns and throwing random weapons to everyone else, just like in Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Okay.
You watch.
I will read the story. And I will...
You do kind of watch, though. It's cinematic. But anyways, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's something... Like, the story does have a very cinematic quality still. But sorry, continue, Mikey.
Yeah, so it's just... My whole...
Like, what? But Whitney's not dead. She's just missing. She's just missing. She's only been missing for 7 years. She's missing.
Because the dad and most other people are saying that she ran away, so she's not missing. She's just elsewhere with this person.
Yeah, even though Sam found that the guy is
not with her
at all. Yeah. Never give up, though, people. Never give up hope.
And also, based on the time jump between part 1 and part 2, I was expecting another time jump between part 2, and part 3.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, it took them 7 years to bury this person and have a funeral.
No wonder it was in a shoebox coffin.
I was expecting a time jump backwards to the first era again. Yeah. It wasn't actually, but it would be kind of funny. So then by the end, you have all the pieces.
Alright. And then continue on. So this is Kyle speaking.
No, you're Mikey.
You walked right into that.
In the quote.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, but she's my... He still couldn't say it around me. I'm supposed to be looking after her. I'm thinking to myself, well, if you can't admit that she is your girlfriend, then...
Oh, I thought you were going to go with cousin.
Okay.
She isn't.
See, he can't. No, it's not that he's ashamed about being the girlfriend with Kimber or the boyfriend.
He's the girlfriend now.
It's not that he like a couple with Kimber. It's that like it's still kind of weird to him because they were all friends, and then the two of the friends hooked up.
Yeah,
So it's still kind of weird. Like that. Yeah.
It's like if he was speaking to anyone else, he would be fine with it.
Yeah.
But saying it to Sam, it's like she's my
Yeah. All right, there, Timmy.
It's Jimmy, actually.
Jimmy.
But thank you for acknowledging that at South Park and adding to it.
God damn it. Is that really all just like the title cards are going to be? Just going to be like these characters in like South Park characters?
Yeah, totally.
God damn, no, I don't want to draw
Yes,
that.
you do. You know you do.
I really don't.
Give in to your hate.
Your hate of South Park. Let it flow through you.
Yes.
What would Brian Boitano? If he was still... I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. It's fine. Nice. That's good. Let's continue, Mikey.
I'm sure he'd draw a card or two. That's what Brian Boitano do.
Yeah, he would, yeah.
So anyway, continue.
Is he our new title card artist now?
No.
Oh.
Well, that's it for my actual thoughts until final thoughts.
Oh, okay.
So,
Guess you did speak up a little bit in mine.
mm-hmm. Yes. And I had some awesome grammar inquisitions.
Yes, indeed. So, my first note is very short. Essentially, when they realize that Sam's dad's lying to them, and they're talking in the car, I forget who's saying it. It doesn't matter. I think it's Kyle talking to Sam, saying, Kimber's gone just like all the others. So she's at the place where the bad things happen.
Yeah, it's Kyle.
Yeah. And at that point, I'm just like, I called it.
Yeah.
In the last episode, I was like, yeah, okay, Kimber should be taken.
I know. I actually, as I read, I was like, motherfucker. Like, especially like Kyle, Kimber was dead. It's like, motherfucker.
Yeah. It's kind of a problem.
It's like, like, god damn it. Like, who's next? Or is the next one going to be them actually finding out what the fuck is going on? Because it is the fourth. Well, the fourth one was the initial ending, and then the popularity of this series was so much that c.k.walker did the fifth one afterward.
I hope that doesn't make it real bad. Then.
Yeah, I know. We all know we all know what happens when they do that.
Yeah, if something's supposed to end in the writer's minds, that's when it ends.
Yeah.
Because, anyways, just
Yeah.
Either way, my only other point is the ending. I want to talk about. And we've kind of brushed on it slightly. I don't understand the sound that happens, okay?
We still don't know what it is.
No, but here's the thing. While they were out searching for people, or searching for Kimber...
Out in the mountains, yeah.
There was the sound happening.
No, there wasn't. No, they say... Okay, I know what you're referencing. It didn't actually happen. They were dreading it. Like, they were praying that it wouldn't happen, and it never did.
Okay, but even I think at the end of the previous one, it ended with them getting to the tree and hearing the sound.
That was the part one. At the end of part one, that happened. Mm-hmm. Part two, it happened when the mother died.
The sound happened?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think the sound happened when the mother was killed.
I
think
I don't recall that.
But either way,
yeah.
reading through 3 parts of this, me as the reader, I didn't
Yeah.
connect the sound to someone dying.
Yeah.
I connected it to it just being a weird sound in the distance that happens occasionally, and we have no explanation for it.
Yeah.
So the fact that both Sam and Kyle immediately went, okay, she's dead. We're done. We lost. We didn't save her.
Yeah,
I did not understand that.
I will admit that, and I actually had an issue with that, and in part 2, they did a similar thing where they just instantly speculated, yeah, these are either some really smart kids, or this is some really bad writing, because with part 2, what kind of made me is like, really, you jumped to this right off the bat, was when the old man was talking about the powder, and I was like, he instantly went to drugs. And I was like, okay, that makes sense, yeah. But I honestly wasn't thinking about drugs at that point. I don't know what I was. I guess I was thinking more of a supernatural plot or some weird cryptic message.
Yeah.
But on their drive back from the old man, they was like, it's drugs. I was like, oh, okay.
What other powder is not socially acceptable, and they don't want to deal with it, but they have to?
Yeah, I get that.
But yes, I do see what you're saying.
Or, I didn't bring it up, but I did have a note that I thought I had in my notes, but it's not there.
Well, bring it up now.
I brought it. I think I put it in my. I put it in my friggin' final thoughts. As specumentations. Sorry, but it had something to do with the powder. I think what might be an interesting thing if it wasn't drugs. It's
fairy dust.
No, iron dust in the mines, and it's gotten into the water and causing infertility. Because that seems to be kind of something that's mentioned off and on throughout the story is infertility, in people, and the water being bad, or them having to go spend all this time getting a process and stuff, because the mine's breaking into it, and it was an iron mine. So I'm wondering if the powder got in the water and a chemical of some kind and gotten into it's causing people to not be that fertile.
It's clearly C4 contamination.
Yeah, clearly. As we just pretend explode like kids from
just at the assembly.
Yeah. It
The universal "you blew my mind" situation. But
there are a couple of getting back to the thing at hand here. I do think that a couple of times in the story they do kind of just jump to a conclusion, and that conclusion is supposed to be given as fact.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, I didn't realize that the sound was that until they brought it up, and then I personally took it as I'm a fool. How have I not noticed that before?
No.
And I tried to start correlating it, because they do kind of correlate to when somebody goes missing. It goes off kind of cinematically when somebody goes missing. At least when the main characters go missing, then there are 1 or 2 times where it goes off and we don't know if somebody's got missing or not.
Yeah.
But
this is the first time that it's been sound is going off, this is what it means.
Yeah.
And so, they didn't say anything in this entire entry to change what my thoughts on the sound were from the previous entries. So
it is going to be interesting if they do continue this line of thought where every time they do kind of conclude that every time that sound has gone off, somebody has gone missing. We just don't hear about those other people missing. Those ones have been successfully covered up of somebody just going away or something like that, not filing a missing persons report.
But it just the issue is a matter of factly saying that I heard the noise
and we knew that she was dead. I was oh. Okay.
I don't see the thing, because when does not mean causation.
Yeah, but at the same time, I get you. I understand where you guys are coming from. I'm just saying, when I read it, I was like, whoa, am I a fool?
No, you're not.
No.
If they went through this entire entry doing an investigation and going oh well, when this sound happened, this person went away. When that sound happened, that person went away, and they actually confirmed things.
I guess
then seeing it happen again is impactful.
Yeah.
But if that part at the end saying we knew that she was dead or whatever. If that wasn't there, I would be like, okay, well, they're falling asleep to the weird sounds of Borrasca, which is a
Creepy
lead
thing.
into the next one because they're going to be going to Borrasca. But I
Yeah.
wouldn't have connected that because I would have.
Honestly, I think they should have done that way. Like, they should have, like, correlated the sound being that way. And they should have done that a lot more. Like, they should have made that a little bit more obvious. Because, like...
It's clearly obvious to them.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like there was something missing in the first part of the second part.
Yeah.
And maybe this is from, like, when they were writing the story. This is just speculation. I'm not saying this is what the author did. This could be, like, the author inserted this after the fact. After, like, they added in the mystery sound, and then they came up with what it means now.
Yeah.
That it correlates with, like, missing people. But
Well, okay,
that would make sense from an outside point of view, or out of game or out of story point of view, for why they didn't correlate earlier, or like with like why there was just like the sound would pop up here and there over the course of a year, right?
Yeah.
Like,
It sounds like it's semi-regular. And just like, because of that, whenever they're just doing things, I just kind of put that sound happening occasionally in my head because it seems like it's an everyday thing almost.
I don't think it's
Yeah.
everyday. I never associated it being an everyday thing. I think it happens like periodically over the course of like the year, but like it's sporadic. It's not like it's
it
not
seems like it's a
daily
few times a
occurrence.
week.
I know. Okay,
Something, you know?
I never assumed that.
I got that from the first story.
Okay, I never assumed that.
Because well, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like it's not told to us. Everything else is very visual, but this important aspect of the story, me and Mikey were thinking that it's either daily or weekly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bi-weekly, tri-weekly, whatever, and you're saying that it's a few times a year.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like because like, it only happens like it's only mentioned like the 2 times, like 2 or 3 times in the first part, and it's over the course of like again like months.
But in this story,
but in this story, it only happens once.
okay, but also in this story, they say earlier when they're like walking through the night, whatever, hearing the sounds, they're saying, "Oh well, there's a lot of creepy sounds," but we're so used to the constant creepy sounds of Borrasca grinding its gears that it's kind of
That's true.
blended in
Yeah.
the background.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember hearing that they were like dreading hearing it, like they were praying it didn't happen, and it didn't happen while they were out there. And I was wondering like why, and then like they realized that she was dead when they heard the sounds. Like, okay, so is that why you were praying it didn't happen? Because you somehow knew at that point that means that.
I thought it was something else because, like, in the very first one, when they're at the treehouse and it happens, they're all like covering the ears and like freaking out because of how intense it is, and it's not really explained what happens around them because they were safe in the tree. Mm-hmm. But if they weren't safe in the tree and they were out in the woods when that happened, then that could be where people get taken. Or something.
Maybe yeah. And like the sound is, I like the sound for being like creepy and mysterious. But
it's not mysterious anymore.
We now have an explanation for what it means.
Yeah, and that's fine if it's smoothly given to us, but it's not.
Yeah, like if it's just them like speculating, or maybe like if it had been written differently, like maybe had like they freaked out because they had nightmares of Kimberly being dead because with the sound there, like in like there. Like, that would maybe been... Because it left it a little bit more ambiguous as to why the sound's that.
But it's written down as the gospel truth, so...
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I don't know. Because it's just like straight... And we knew she was dead. It's like... How?
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Initially it filled me with dread, and now I'm just like... Now that you guys are making me poke holes out, I was like, what?
Yeah. It's like, you reading all 3 of these entries gives you no extra information to understand the sound more than right there at the last sentence.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because it's just the sound means death. Oh, okay. I wasn't aware.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And maybe we missed something like in the last 2 parts. But
no, we're flawless.
No, don't even pretend, buddy.
I can try. Try. But yeah, it's possible that there's some little thing that we overlooked.
We skipped it, but yeah,
this is the 3rd one,
and
this is the 3rd recording over 3 weeks.
Yeah,
so it's entirely possible, but
this might be a con against doing this these multi-part.
No, it's fine. It's good.
You just don't want to do 3-hour episodes.
No, I really don't. No, you don't want to edit 3-hour episodes.
I do not. Also, according to our hosting sites, we can't do that many We can't do 3-hour episodes out that well without me having to compress the audio.
Oh yeah,
because apparently our friggin' hosting site won't allow anything bigger than like 100 130 gigs. Or, sorry, 130 megs.
I was going to say 130 gigs is a lot. It's probably not that big.
Yeah, no. We don't play in WAV files, so we do MP3. But 130 megs is like apparently too much for Kiwi 6 to handle.
Okay. Yeah. Understandable. But yeah, that's all I really got to say.
Let's close that curtain of the technical work here.
Yeah.
Let's get back into the podcast.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I have nothing more to say. On to recommendations.
Well, final thoughts and recommendations.
Yes.
So yeah, the end.
You just ended there. Yeah.
Well, no, because like I have the end quote, like, and we knew that Kimber was dead.
Yeah.
Or sorry, just Kimber was dead. It's just straight up what it says. Like, we failed her. Kimber was dead. Honestly, to me, this part, like this not this section of the story, but like this part, like this episode, like this story, seemed tighter than the last part. If only because it was a much simpler and stronger focus. Like, it's the aftermath of the suicide, the plotting to get the suicide note that's being kept hidden, and then the consequences of said plan. Like, the other stories like take place over the course of like months and weeks.
Yeah.
This one took over the course of a week, like less than a week.
Yeah.
So it's I feel like in terms of like a story, like getting like in terms of like continuity and story and stuff like that, this one was a lot stronger for that. I don't think it's as good as part 1, but for me it's a step up from part 2 in terms of execution, minus all the minor grammar issues that we had to fix. Or that could easily be fixed, or like with just like a pass through. It kept me nervous and excited as I read, as to how things were going to go down when the plan for retrieving the note happened, and the sudden change to the formula and consequences of said that. Like when she started like changing like what they were planning on doing, and then like she got taken, and then I was like, oh shit, Kimber's gone, and now Kimber's dead. Shit.
Apparently.
Or presumed dead. There's more questions there's some more questions at the end of this one that I hope get answered at the story's conclusion. Possibly in part 4, maybe part 5. It still manages to keep me wanting to read on. Like, I want to know what happens next. Like the other, like these stories are good at the cliffhanger endings, like making you want to like wait for, and like read the next one. Like, I almost jumped into part 4. And then I said to stop myself. Specumentations. Clearly the cops are totally in on all this.
No, it's fine.
I think Sam's dad is too, but not like
willingly,
but not as deep, or perhaps maybe he's just being played or being ignorant. Like he's not completely in on it, but he's being manipulated by those in on it. He's because he seems like at the end he like there is a part where like he seems genuinely confused as to where like the Kimber and her dad have gone. Like they can't find them, and like he seems genuinely confused and like concerned by that.
He's being paid off,
and maybe he doesn't know that he's being paid off. He doesn't know what he's being paid off for.
Yeah, because in the first section
he did something wrong.
No,
oh sorry.
He buys all the toys for Christmas.
Oh shit, you're right. Like
he must be making way more money over here compared to his other job in the city.
At a city.
That's weird.
Yeah. And he was being groomed by the sheriff. So yeah, like he's being paid off, but I don't think he realizes how, like, for what reasons he's being paid off for. Like why he's being like groomed and why he's being. I think O'Cleary is still the mastermind in the in the cops with the sheriff's department, even not being the sheriff anymore, because he's definitely got those two deputies are still on his side.
Yeah.
I also wonder if something regarding the infertility in the groundwater is at play as well. Like something is going to come up in like a truth about Borrasca and like the whole operation that's been going on in the town, like the secret of the town.
Honestly, I don't know how I feel about that, because from the sounds of it, whatever is going on in Borrasca, so far they're taking women.
Yeah.
So if there's something going on where there's infertility and there's less babies being born, there's less people to take.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's been brought up a couple of here and there in the other stories. So I'm like kind of like I have them on like a dartboard or like on like a
you get the strings.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like Mira's infertility. Apparently, Kimber's mom they spent a lot. She had a bunch of miscarriages before they had Kimber.
Yeah,
and she's lived in the town all her life.
That's true. That's true.
Like that was brought up. I was like, okay, is there something in the water? Like, is there something in the water like causing people? Like, is it like not Icar Falls levels of like weirdness in the water, but like some kind of like because the groundwater's been contaminated by whatever's in the mines? Like, is it causing like issues with the town?
Yeah.
That we're just not aware of yet until we get the big reveal. Mm-hmm. So I really want the guys to just go up to the Prescott estate or wherever it is, the property, and break in and investigate and like reveal and like get the reveal like in the next part. Mm-hmm. Like that, honestly, for me, that would be like that's my prediction for the next one is that they are going to just basically break and entering into the Prescott Manor or whatever and just find like what's going on, or maybe end up in like the right mining operation site on the mountain as like the final confrontation and reveal of what's going on.
Mm-hmm. When the boss fight starts.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Jimmy Prescott's like, this is in my final form. Wesker. Just throws his glasses down. He's got like demon eyes.
Yeah. Wait, he's been wearing glasses this whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
Retcon everything.
But yeah, that's my recommendations is just like the sheriff. Well, it's no real big secret. No real like stretch. The sheriff and them are totally in on it. Like the cops are in on it. Yeah. But my recommendation for the next one is that the guys are going to like break into somebody's like onto somebody's property and find like information about Borrasca finally once and for all. Mm-hmm. At least that's my hope for what's going on. Mm-hmm. I have a feeling because of like the correlation of who's been disappearing. It's going to be a human trafficking thing. If it's going to go real world, it's going to be drug and human trafficking in a bad... And, like, that's what's been, like, keeping the town, like, stable. Like, what's been, like, keeping the town on its feet is that they've basically been, like, illegally or black marketing, like women.
Yeah. It's seeming like
it's all young girls, too. That's, the ones who have been missing, not just, like, dying.
Did the mother...
Oh, fuck. What if,
actually get... confirmed that she jumped and died?
Yeah. She went up to the top of the roof and just jumped.
Okay, but who saw that?
Said, nobody saw it, but somebody said, her dying words were, "I'm sorry," to the paramedics.
Okay, but it was also a closed casket.
Well,
there might have been no one in there.
Okay, Kimber went down to the morgue.
Did she actually go?
Yeah. Because there was a split off where Sam was taken to the side with his father, and then Kimber was taken to the morgue.
Oh, right. Okay.
Also,
could have been a body double.
Well, what I'm thinking is like, this is speculation completely.
That is the section we're on.
Yeah. Kimber's mom was depressed and so that because her and her dad have been talking about like maybe like they were like the town needs another like person to go. Kimber and it's like no you blah, blah, blah. And then she committed suicide, and then Kimber's dad was being talked to by Sheriff Cleary. Is Cleary's like, we need your daughter.
Yeah,
and that's why there was a heated argument there. And then he just gets like just droops, and just like gets like taken to go away or something like that. So yeah, I think there was some behind the scenes like bullshit, like dark bullshit going on, where Kimber had to be taken.
Yeah.
And like they were fighting it for a while, and then
essentially the mother didn't want to live in a world where that happened.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I can see that being a thing.
Yeah.
Clearly, they need virgin sacrifices to appease
the powder.
Yeah.
Because we're still going on the hope on the still clinging to that supernatural aspect, guys.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, no, it's going to be realistic, isn't it?
It's probably going to be super real.
But in the first episode, you're like, I love it when things are super real and creepy.
I do, and now you're like, fuck.
No, okay, here's the thing. Like, I genuinely, like, when I hear about, like, I love, okay, this is going to sound really bad.
Do it.
I love realistic horror. Like, stuff that can actually happen and does actually happen.
Yes.
Because it scares me much more, like, thoroughly than the supernatural. The supernatural, I get, like, an excited high off of, like, scares from that.
Yeah.
Realistic stuff, I still kind of get a thrill from it, but more of like it's true. Like this one is like kind of a high that's like it like I can speculate on it and have fun with it. This one, the realistic stuff, I am truly creeped out and scared by it. I still like it.
Clings to you for longer.
And it clings to me a lot longer. Yeah. It's like humans are fucked up monsters.
Occasionally.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's why you wear a hood and conceal your face.
Exactly.
Yes.
But yeah, it's just
Say the man wearing a mask and hood.
Yeah, exactly.
You can see my eyes.
And,
And they're totally not just prosthetic eyes that are in the way.
Yeah, clearly.
It's like Scorpion situation. You take the mask off and it's all like...
Oh, God.
Just like skull.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm just sitting here in my birthday suit,
As a cosmic demon.
Yeah.
Oh, you're naked! Blur that out!
I thought Orion's belt was there for a reason. Anyway. God, I just can't stop staring at it.
No, it's fine.
God, that's your Big Dipper?
Wow.
You're welcome, audience.
Wow.
Anyway.
It's fine.
Yeah.
At least he's sitting down so we can see the North Star.
And anyone like hears that and then like looks at our title cards, I can't look at Mikey the same way again.
No, never again.
But yeah, that's my final thoughts and recommendations. Oh yeah, I guess I do recommend the story still. Like it's stronger. Like I think because it's so simple, it is a stronger story or stronger part than the last one was. Mm-hmm. Not as good as the first one because the first one kind of like really brought me in. But this one, I want to know what happens next. I want to continue reading the story. I'm still enjoying myself. Like the story hasn't pissed me off really at all. Like in terms of yeah, there's been some issues that we've had like continuity and like grammar, but to me they're like so much less than what we've had to deal with with other stories.
Yeah.
Like so, reading this one has actually been like kind of I look forward to like reading each part.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I recommend it thus far.
Alright. Onward to me.
I hated it.
Well, I feel like Sam is going crazy and he's becoming a Sith because he's dealing more in absolutes. Like Whitney is dead, Kimber is dead.
Okay.
Dad's lying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yet there's no proof that they're dead. And for all we know, they could have just
They're losing hope.
Yeah, losing hope. But that's also part of the issue of going crazy.
Losing hope leads to dark side.
It'd also be a coping mechanism.
Yeah.
Because it's like, there's no point worrying about it because like,
You gotta move
because they're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta move on.
I don't know.
It's also possible that he's Sith, yes.
Yes. It's becoming a Sith.
Yes.
That's how it's going to end. In a galaxy far, far away.
Oh god, you know what's gonna
So
suck?
it turns out that this has been in a galaxy far, far away the whole time.
Quick, small recommendation. What if the next part takes place 7 years later? Like part 1, and then we had cut to 7 years later after because part 2 didn't have somebody go missing. We had somebody die. Like had a family member die. This time we actually have somebody gone missing. What if the next one is actually going to be a time jump, like 7 years now down the road?
Oh, because it went missing, time jump.
Yeah, and then
death,
and then technically part 2 and part 3 could have been like the same part, like technically the same story. Like it's the same situation going on.
I don't know if it's going to happen.
I don't want it to happen. I'm just like wondering if that might happen.
Because like there's so many instances where this sound happens.
Yeah.
It's not just it hasn't just happened once throughout the story.
No, and I don't mean that. I mean
signify the time jump. You know,
I just meant like the time jump is signified by the person that they're close to, like a close family member going missing and never coming back.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry, Mike, continue.
Alright, so my guess for the next one is that they find Borrasca.
Mm-hmm.
And they either find a mass grave, the skinned men, or nothing.
Or both.
Yeah,
Or both.
like nothing, as in like this.
They just...
It was actually always just a legend.
Yeah.
There was no.
It's just all coincidence.
Holy fuck. I don't know if I'd be pissed off at that or like.
It turns out there's like a geyser in the mines, and it goes off every once in a while.
And
but
that's
over
what
top of the geyser, there's like a bunch of metal
from the
the
machinery, yeah.
and it just pushes it up and falls right back down on the geyser.
That's what's been causing them noise all these years.
Yeah.
Just oh my god. Again,
would you be pissed? I don't know if I would.
I know it's like honestly, it's like the Mass Effect 3 ending. I was never actually pissed by the Mass Effect 3 ending. In fact, I actually applauded. Like I actually sat up from my chair and applauded for them having the balls to do that.
I can see the viewer count dropping very quickly.
You know what? I defend my stance. Mass Effect 3 did nothing wrong. Hot take.
I mean,
For a game from like 2012.
Hey man, it's fine. I mean, yeah. I mean, without going on a huge tangent, they did what they could with what they had, considering the leak.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I applaud them for having the balls to like have a dark ending, or have like an ending that like the choices were really fucking hard to deal with, and they weren't all good endings. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like as with if Borrasca, like, well, it's Borrasca. Yeah. Like if Borrasca ends up like that, where like it's actually all been like people have just been going missing, and like Kimber just had to leave, like they just left town.
Yeah, they actually just moved.
Yeah, and like there is actually nothing weird or dark or sinister going on. Like the reason why Prescott, like old man Prescott, was like being all cryptic is because he's suffering dementia. Mm-hmm. Like bam, like it's just dealing with trauma of like losing the miners in the mine when like it was just a normal accident.
Yeah, and like, Whitney's disappearance is like, yes, she actually ran back,
but she
home and got back to him, but he was already with someone else, which pissed her off. So she just moved on to some other guy and is in some other town now.
Yeah, exactly. Like like if it goes that way, I don't know if I'd necessarily be pissed off. Mm. I'd be like, well done, touche, story, touche. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, continuing on,
yeah.
I feel like if there isn't some sort of revelation in the next sections of story...
There will be. Well, that being said, there is a fifth.
Yeah, well, there's a fifth one that was brought up after the popularity of the last four.
Yeah. But if it isn't there, I'm going to be disappointed.
Yeah, if there's not like some kind of like, even if it's like a lack, like the revelation is that it was all like coincidence. Mm-hmm. Like if this one just like does honestly, if this one, I know I'm usually a proponent for open-ended endings and stuff, mm-hmm. but this one like leaves off with like nothing getting resolved at all and no closure whatsoever. I will be very disappointed.
That might be why there's a fifth, because people were up in arms about it.
No, people weren't up. It didn't sound like people were up in arms. People said that they just wanted more. It sounded like.
Yeah.
What if it was if the ending was actually like final and everything was tied up? We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. So in regards to recommendation, I'm really low on the recommendation scale right now.
Really? Huh. To the point of it not?
Well, my problem is the matter-of-factness of just jumping to, they're dead.
That killed it.
You're so much stricter than the other person.
And the whole funeral thing where Kimber gets away from the funeral. Like, that wouldn't happen in my mind.
All right.
If it's a father, a mother, and one child, it's just one, right?
Yeah.
The father would be there with the child.
No, I get you. Realistically, I've been to a fucking funeral recently.
Yeah.
And like the family of the person were like right and center, and like we're constantly being like badgered and asked, mm-hmm. or like condolences like were given, mm-hmm. and stuff like that. I get you. Like realistically, I'm looking at this story not from realism. I'm looking at this story as from the point of view of a teen gumshoe, of a teen mystery story, which is what it's portraying itself as.
But in a realistic manner.
But I mean, you can also do that in those stories.
Right, fair.
But I'm like seeing I'm also seeing a lot of those tropes. Like, oh yeah, we're planning this thing. It's like, okay, they're Tom Sawyer, or okay, they're Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys, the Hardy Boys.
What was that?
Nothing.
What was that?
Hardy Boys.
Beg your pardon?
The Hardy Boys.
The Hardy Boys.
Yes. Anyway,
hardly.
But yeah, I'm looking at it from that kind of standpoint. I'm looking at it less from like. I don't know, maybe it's just because like I want like that, like I like that mystery fiction.
Yeah.
That I'm looking at it more from that, like through those glasses than realistic glasses. Or I'm willing to like let it go when it comes to like the realistic like point of view.
Well,
for the cinematic point of view.
The problem for me is that the first part was good because of the mystery.
Yeah.
And then once you go to the second part and the third part, the mystery is dissolving and going away. And it's
because they're trying to solve it.
Yeah, but
there's no extra creep being added in. It's just there's slight explanations to things, but it's not really progressing.
And specifically in this one, they just flat out tell you Whitney is dead, Kimber is dead.
Yeah, but why or where? How did they die? Like why?
Yeah,
are they, those questions are still there. I don't know. Like I get what you're saying. Like if you didn't find it compelling, you didn't find it compelling. and like that's fine. Like if it wasn't realistic enough, like that's perfectly like that's your opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems like to me there's still like a creep factor in that. And it's like what the fuck is going on with this town? But yeah.
And then, I mean, I think we had a lot more grammar issues in this one than the previous two.
I don't think so. The second one, I had
Are you serious?
I had a page for the last.
Oh,
the
you
second
did,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, I was actually kind of like, oh god, we're on to a great start. And this one, I had like.
These were all really funny ones.
Yeah, these ones were all funny ones. I think most of them were dialogue.
It's just the way he talks.
Yeah, it's just the way he talks.
When he's distressed.
When he's distressed, he goes caveman.
Yeah.
Like he says,
What's your favorite one?
where is it? I gotta find it.
All right. What's your future you is like, oh yeah, I know, this is hilarious. Hurry up.
Did you mom leave letter?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Or, also, if c.k.walker is like this, I'm sorry. we're making fun of this, but like it's not like we're not like being like this. There's no mean spirit behind it. This like we're just like this is funny to us. So I'm sorry
Because we're imagining because of how well everything is portrayed to the point that everything's cinematic. We're seeing this visually.
Yeah.
And then when the guy says stuff like.
Like how close Kimber was to her mom, or yeah, I think that's actually the funniest one was Sam. How will you know?
Yeah, I think it's that one.
That's the one that killed us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like it's just yeah. Like we all like do spelling errors and stuff when we write stuff, and it's just like this one just had a lot more like. Chuckle moments of just like real wow, but like it's all dialogue. It was all in the dialogue.
Yeah, it really was. So I'm wondering if it's intentional.
I don't know. I don't.
It's
think
just
so.
when Kyle talks.
I don't think so, but I mean, I could be wrong.
He's losing sand.
Yeah,
because of this happening.
He's becoming more and more caveman, primitive as it goes on.
It'd be hilarious if in the next one, like Sam actually realizes that, like he brings it up that Kyle, you're not talking right anymore. Are you okay?
You do what with me?
Yeah, and then it just gets worse and worse.
Yeah,
and that's just like the essentially what happens to people that are around someone who is directly taken.
Oh shit! Yeah, or it's just like Kyle has been the whole time.
My God,
I don't think so. But anyway, sorry.
I mean, this was the first time that Sam had ever seen him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure. All right. So, bottom line, you didn't really care for it.
Yeah.
You're still not caring for it.
No. Well, the way it is, I liked the first one because of the mystery.
But they're dropping the ball.
The second one, it's falling down. The third one, still on that downward trend.
All right.
And I'm really hoping that the fourth one kicks it back up.
Honestly, I really don't think you're going to give this. It's just going to be like, even if it is good, it's just you're like, nope.
I am Nancy now, and just always negative.
Yeah.
No.
Right,
Okay.
so.
On to me?
Yes.
Alrighty. I believe I made a note or something to bring up.
Actually, here's a question, just like for that. So, would you still recommend the story then? Like, three parts in at this point, like, because like the first part was. I think we all genuinely liked the first part.
Well, the first part was a good start. And that's what we.
You could just end it there.
Yeah,
it'd be fine.
Yeah, just end with that. Leave the mysteries,
Yeah.
and you're good. But so far,
You're not liking the teen drama and the teen mystery stuff.
no.
Which I do you like that stuff usually?
I'm not sure. Probably not.
Okay, that might explain some things about the opinion. Then I'm just like that's like my opinion from on my end. Like that, like I do kind of have a guilty pleasure of like the teen mysteries and some of that, like the gumshoe, like the whole gumshoe genre of like. Not Nancy Drew per se, or even the Hardy Boys. I don't think I think I had a book of the Hardy Boys, but I never actually read it. But like that kind of genre in movies and film and like TV and stuff like that, I like. I do have like kind of a soft spot for it.
Yeah.
So
Scooby Doo.
yeah, exactly.
I like regular gumshoe, like Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, that's fair. And I do too. I like True Detective was pretty fun. But like just I think mine also stems from the fact that my interest in it, or my soft spot for it, also stems from the fact that I like nostalgic stuff and like childhood things. So like when you combine like childhood like shenanigans with like a creepy mystery, you get the Scooby Doo but like darker stuff. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
I like the actual gumshoe because it adds a lot of interesting flavors on its path. You never know what you're gonna get.
Oh God. What does the term even mean? Gumshoe. It's literally like actually, I'll look it up because
No, don't cheat.
In the art, he has to be wearing gumshoes.
Motherfucker.
Shoes made out of gum. Yeah. Lemon gum, please. No, it probably should be bubble gum. That's seriously.
As you're walking, it's like
Yeah. Yeah, the slime shoes.
Yeah. So gumshoe, a detective.
Yep.
That is literally what that term means.
Yep.
Is an informal North American term for a detective, but it is usually used in conjunction with teenagers or like young adult detectives.
Well, I'm assuming based on the word, it's just like I get that's detective, but the word is gumshoe because like you're looking at everything. It's like even some gum that you picked up on your shoe while investigating could be a clue.
Yep.
The origin, mid-19th century, in the sense galoshes or soft-soled shoes suggesting stealth. The current sense dates from the early 20th century. So basically, yeah, because detectives would like creep around, and they use soft-soled shoes so they wouldn't like squeak or like cause any like clacking or anything like that.
Oh, I guess like if you have to investigate someone somewhere you're not supposed to be.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's where it stems from.
All right.
English is weird.
I mean, yeah.
North American, doubly so.
Yeah. Anyways, we are. So, I don't know how to feel about this one. I didn't notice most of these grammar-related silliness. It was hilarious, but I almost want to give it points just because of how silly the grammar was. But no, it won't.
Just give points to Kyle.
Poor Kyle. I'm wondering if it's intentional. But either way, I saw the whole Kimber thing happening. I did think it was weird that she had to do it. I mean, teens being teens, fine. But I don't know how I feel about the way that the story's currently going.
Okay.
Especially with the ending, I am with Mikey in this, where it just kind of drops a fact on you, like you already know it.
Oh, are you not smart enough to get that sound clearly means this?
Yeah.
Although I don't think it was like it says it like that. I think it like
it straight up says she's dead.
No, I get that, but I mean, I don't mean it. I don't think it like intentionally like suggests like, oh, you're stupid. You should have got that already. I think it maybe just dropped the ball on like it was supposed to have like reference that or like had that correlate better.
That's my point.
Yeah,
there should have been some conversation between the two where they're like mid-investigation while they're just walking around. They need to talk about something. They could be like, "Have you ever thought more about what the sounds are?" It's like, "Oh well." Every time it happens, it seems like one of them is gone for good. Like,
next part. Do you ever wonder? Like that's like when they're in the car, they're driving through the car. It's like, do you ever wonder if that's what the sound is? Like, yeah, I wonder. Like, I think they're dead. It's like,
yeah, it came out of nowhere. But the way that these three stories have gone so far, it's like I'm a fish. Stay with me. I know I've lost you already. Okay, the first story is the line being cast, and there's a beautiful meal right there ready for me.
A full worm.
Yes, indeed. And I go for it, and it hooks me right in, and I'm stuck. Right? But it's like, it's a worm, though, so I'm really hungry, so even though I'm stuck and it's painful...
And you've been impaled in the jaw.
Yeah, but it's still awesome, okay? And then...
I actually think I know where you're going with this.
Then it gets to the point where the worm's not there anymore.
And now you're fighting...
story 2. Yeah. I'm like, okay,
but now
it's not there anymore. I'm still hooked, so I'm still going towards you, but the deliciousness is not there anymore. And then we get to part 3. I'm like, okay, I'm getting tired. I'm forced to be here. You got the hook in me, so I'm still going towards you. But
you think that the fourth one is going to be like your you're gasping for breath as you're dying in like this alien world above your world.
It's either going to be that, or there'll be another line that's thrown in with something delicious.
You escape,
and I snap the line and grab that.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, so what I'm seeing is recommend, probably not, maybe.
I like the story itself as a whole. I just don't like the direction it's going personally.
Yeah.
Because when I read the first one, it felt like Super Goonies. It's like, oh sweet, like a kid's adventure thing. Yeah. It's going to be kids all the time, and then immediately stops being.
And then we went to. We went from you know what it is. Went from Goonies, Stranger Things to a CW CW TV show.
Yeah.
And that might be why I'm enjoying it, is because I do have a soft spot for like Archie's, like that Riverdale series and those kind of CW bullshit, like really campy, really trashy, like teen drama, teen like mystery stories. Mm-hmm. Like, and you guys just have none of it.
Yeah, you never go full CW.
Wow,
that's gotta be the quote, man. Like that's what it's just gotta be your like no quote from actual Borrasca Part 3. Just when you go to post it on Twitter, it's just like you never go full CW.
Yeah,
Mikey.
Yeah. So,
I might do that on Twitter now.
Yeah, go for it. But yeah, it's the first one's awesome. It's going downhill. I don't want to say that this is taking a sharper downward hill angle than the second one. Yeah. It's just, it's shorter. There's more questions being raised than answered. The grammar is getting worse. Like, I'm wondering what's going on.
This one is a little more straightforward than the last one. The last one was...
because you brought that up. Because the second one, and the first one, I guess, as well, take place over multiple months, where this takes place over a week. So you see more of what's happening in these kids' lives in this short amount of time.
Yeah.
That being said, she's not confirmed dead. Don't confirm her dead.
Never give up. Never surrender.
So far, I'm not hating enough to not recommend it, so I'll still recommend the series as a read. It's just so far the first one is my favorite, and I really hope that the fourth picks up, and if the fifth passes that as well, that'd be awesome. So we shall see.
Okay. So, if that is the end of it, that is it for tonight. If you like what you heard, or if you didn't, leave us a comment in the comment section below where this gets posted. We're on iTunes and other streaming channels, so leave us a rating and review and let us know how we're doing, and help us spread like a virus.
A plague.
I was actually going to go with a more mimetic virus, like a computer virus. Help us spread. Keep sending those emails out.
Yeah, but it's also creepiness.
That's fair. Yeah, I suppose. You can also talk to us on Twitter. I'm at Review Cultist. Mikey's at the E stands for evil. Sorry, at E stands for evil, all one word. And the Gamer in Yellow is at the Gamer in Yellow, all one word, but without the W because, well, Twitter hates you. You can also leave us an email at aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. That's aldenterigamortis@gmail.com, where you can also send us messages and suggestions for other creepypastas you'd like us to discuss on the show. We can also be found at crazonstudios.tumblr.com, crazon.deviantart.com, or on our YouTube channel, Al Dente Rigamortis, where we have each episode together with a title card as a visual. If you'd like to support the show, you can go to you can become a patron. Go to Al Dente Rigamortis on Patreon and select the backer tier you'd like to help support us at, and get some extra content as our thanks. At the $5 tier, we have early access to our regular show on Tuesdays before it's released on Thursdays. My two co-hosts also have a show of their own.
Al Dente Reloaded, where Mikey and I go back to the good, the bad, and the ugly pastas that the cultist and the doctor have read in the past, read them ourselves, and see what our thoughts are on them.
Right. For the $2 tier, we provide some monthly specials, such as Al Dente Real Talk, where we discuss film media that has leanings to creepypasta-esque horror. There's also Actual Play Rigamortis, where we occasionally play and record tabletop games that have creepypasta themes. And if you can't get enough of my two co-hosts, they have have another show at this tier as well.
Al Dente Revelations, where Mikey and I continue those thoughts from Reloaded after listening to the old recordings that the cultist and the doctor have done in the past. See how our thoughts differ, or occasionally coincide with each other.
Very rarely.
It happens. There's been a couple of times where it's like, yeah, we all agreed. Cool, that's neat. And possibly have a mind-breaking revelation while doing so.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. And making sure that the art is destroyed.
Yes.
When it needs to be.
Yeah. That's also very rarely.
Yeah.
To all our patrons, thank you immensely. You're helping keep those hosting bills at bay, and we very much appreciate that. And to those simply listening and the authors of these stories, without you, we really wouldn't have much of a show. So thank you all the same. Until next time, I've been your host, Review Cultist.
I'm Mikey. The E stands for evil.
And I'm the gamer in yellow.
And this has been Dente Rigamortis. Sleep well. Sorry, hang on. Future me, just cut the dead space here. Kill some necromorphs.
As you edited in combat sounds. Yes. 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 Yes.